Quite wet today, huh? Wow. The stream is really kicking it. All right, so before it rains, let's talk about SHTF all over the world. Everywhere, all over the world. You know, they say water is life, but water can take life. Fire takes life. All life. We are life. We are in a precarious situation. Germany's flooded. My basement's flooded. Okay, my walls have sprung a leak. Look at that. I'm gonna need help. The window's leaking. The floor is leaking. But that little pinprick hole in the wall, in the wet wall, it doesn't hold a candle next to what's happening in other countries. Germany, where whole towns have been swept away. And the Pacific Northwest, where a whole town was burned down, just like Paradise, California. Now, what's my point here? What's my point here? Are we in fear? Do we live in fear? No. Do we live with that all-encompassing knowledge that it is happening and that we were right as doomers? We were pegged as doomers. We're right. But it isn't a satisfying right. It's a shitty right. It doesn't feel good to be right. It would have felt much better if we were wrong. But we're not wrong. So get ready, folks. Any way you can all over the world. And build that sense of community. And make sure that you have friends that understand. And when they don't, call it climate pollution and see if we can work it out. It's pretty buggy back here. Seriously. It's just what it is. It's really, really flowing. A lot more than it usually does, obviously. Let me show you this. And I'm holding the camera this way. I probably should be holding it the other way. Yep. I feel like this is the kind of water that's in the water table under my house, hitting my basement wall. We shall find out. People have given me all kinds of ideas on what to do, so we'll see. French drains, digging it out again. How do I reinforce my house? First of all, you have to be able to afford it. So, I will try. I will try.
The biggest joke in climate change is when we have a 4-year government announcing a 40-year plan for climate change. And in 4 years, the new government, it's a joke. I mean, why don't we just laugh at it? It's a complete joke. How can a government commit for 40 years when in 4 years they're gone? You know, Obama creates a plan for climate change and Trump comes in and it's gone. And then Biden comes in and it's back and Biden will go and it'll be gone again. It's a joke, okay? But let me address your question in a different way. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, when he was president of the United States, said something really, really brilliant. And to me, this is absolutely central. When a Black activist asked him to support his cause, Roosevelt said, "I agree, I want to do it. Go out and make me do it."
Everyone is feeling overwhelmed with the avalanche of poorly designed policies. And we would know best. One size fits all mindset of this current government.
I'm here to support the farmers. I am an ex-farmer, and truly, I just hate what the government is doing to us.
So what should the government do about climate change?
Should I say this? I don't believe in it.
What do you make of all this behind you?
Oh, I don't even know what it's about. We just came down to do some training and we've seen a whole bunch of people here.
You have woken up!
But it is the intensity and the length of these events where science tells us this is a clear indication of climate change.
It has been an extraordinarily wet start to July in Western and Central Europe. In the Netherlands, 10 centimetres of rain fell on the area around Maastricht in 2 days, more than the region would normally expect over the whole of the summer. In Luxembourg City, the streets were submerged after 80 litres of rain fell on every square metre in just 1 day. And in West London, thunderstorms dumped 4.8 centimetres of rain on Monday, making it the wettest day since 1983. So what's going on? Well, the prolonged rain has been caused by a low-pressure system that's moving across Central Europe. NASA says there's also been a persistent northward bulge in the polar jet stream over Scandinavia this year that has resulted in record June temperatures in Helsinki in Finland and Moscow. The shift has also brought tropical temperatures to Arctic Siberia, with satellite images showing the surface in some spots reached 48 degrees. Meanwhile, the western states in the USA are suffering the second extreme heat wave of the summer, with the temperature in the town of Stovepipe Wells in California not falling below 42 degrees overnight, the highest daily minimum ever recorded in the Northern Hemisphere.
We've seen heat waves, right across the world, in fact, droughts in one location. And because they're all so much more intense, we can see that the atmosphere is energetic and possibly more energetic than we're predicting it in our climate models. And that's the thing that is really worrying.
Scientists at Oxford University's World Weather Attribution Unit have looked at the West Coast heatwave in June that saw the Canadian town of Lytton reach 49.6 degrees. They say that was a 1 in 1,000 year event made 2 degrees warmer by climate change. By the 2040s, global warming will have reached the point where a similar heatwave is likely to occur every 5 to 10 years. A hotter atmosphere is already bringing more extreme weather more often, and it's only going to get worse.
The Amazon rainforest, which is also known as lungs of the earth, might be stripped off that title. Our planet's largest rainforest is now emitting more carbon dioxide than it absorbs. Research has revealed this for the first time. Hundreds of high-altitude air samples prove this worrying trend. Parts of the Amazon have become a source of carbon dioxide. The giant forest had previously been a carbon sink, which means it was absorbing the emissions driving the climate crisis. But this new revelation could turn humanity's greatest natural ally in the fight against global warming into a foe. This is cause for great concern. Because of the Amazonia, which has around 450 billion tons of CO2 locked in its trees and soil, becomes a consistent source of CO2, tackling the climate crisis would become next to impossible. Just in 2019, our CO2 emissions recorded an all-time high, about 40 billion tons. Over the last half-century, plants and soil have absorbed more than a quarter of those emissions. So how did the situation deteriorate so much? Well, decades of illegal felling, deliberate fires by loggers, rising temperatures, drought, and an incompetent government have all led to this day. The man-made crisis has pushed the rainforest into a vicious cycle. The trees produce much of the region's rain, so fewer trees means more severe droughts and heat waves. That means more wildfires, which again will lead to the death of trees. The Brazilian government has been criticized for encouraging more deforestation. It has surged to a 12-year high. As we speak, the Amazon continues to burn. Loggers continue to tear down trees. And the international community continues to condemn President Jair Bolsonaro. What we don't realize is that our fight against climate change is being delayed, and we are heading towards a point of no return.
Well, obviously the West is the canary in the coal mine in terms of climate, and the signals are not subtle ones. In the past year in Oregon, we've had historic wildfire, unprecedented ice storms, devastating heat storms, drought, and of course, flooding. So clearly, climate change is happening. Our people are dying. Our forests are burning, and our rivers and our lakes are burning up. We must take action, and politics cannot get in the way.
I want to show you some dramatic pictures that I just got from NASA this afternoon, and these are two of the biggest reservoirs in California. Lake Oroville, this was in June of 2019, and this is the same satellite image taken today, and you can see how much that lake has dropped. This is Shasta Lake in California in June of 2019, and look at it today, how much that giant reservoir has dropped. I'll give you another case. Lake Powell has dropped 30 feet, and you can see that bathtub ring showing up in Lake Powell from August of 2020 to July of 2021. Same story, different shot in Lake Powell, just a huge difference in that. The wildfire frequency is increasing as temperatures increase in the west. A lot of smoke coming into Colorado over the next couple of days because of those western wildfires. And let's not lose the climate connection. This is not just weather, this is global climate change. The warmest years coming up in the last 20 years or so worldwide. As the world continues to get warmer, we've seen the hottest years on record. All have occurred since 2005, and that is due to the increase in carbon dioxide from the burning of fossil fuels. All of these things are connected to global climate change.
This has been brought to you by an Abused Terry production 2021. Movie.